Good morning. This is Desiree Dubois, founder of Homework. Homework is where you live, where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. And I have a pleasure of having coffee and conversation with Josevie Jackson, who is the who is the publisher
Yeah.
of
Black Card Books.
Black Card Books. Black Card Books.
Yeah.
Blackcardbooks.com.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So it's an interesting story, and tell us about it. Share.
I started my journey with Black Card Books as a client.
Mm.
I attended one of their events. I bought a ticket to one of their events, actually. And I remember sitting in the audience, and I had always wanted to write a book.
Mm.
I wrote my first book when I was 8 years old. So I always thought that I would just grow up and be a famous author and, Mark Twain or somebody. When you're a kid, that's how you think. But of course, life gets in the way. I started a family early. I became an entrepreneur. I actually became a serial entrepreneur. That was my education in being an entrepreneur. And by the time I got to buying that ticket, I actually had given up on my dreams. It was my husband who bought the ticket to that event for me.
Really?
So I attended the event. I remember on the last day of the event, I took my friend with me. And I went to the bathroom, sat on the toilet with my clothes on, closed the door, and I cried like somebody just died. I mean, I was bawling like nobody's business. And my friend comes and knocks on the door and says, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "Yes." I came out, eyes all red and puffy. And I went from there, I just knew it was something that I had to do. I knew that if I didn't take a stand to reach for my dream, that I would never do it. I would never. So I thought this is sometimes there comes a point in time when there's a line that's drawn in the sand and you just know this is what you have to do. Yeah.
And then how many children did you have at that time? 6 children. Okay.
Yes. And actually, I think I had 2 grandchildren at the time too. So that was part of the reason. I'm like, I'm a grandmother. I got to do this now, or I'm never going to get it done. I'll be dead and I'll never do it. So I actually ended up working for the company. I worked for the company for 7 years. I became the VP of Sales and Marketing. I then became the CEO. And the opportunity came for me to be able to buy the company. And so that's exactly what I did. I actually bought the company. And it's been an experience, let me tell you.
Well, because when you buy companies, you don't know what you're inheriting.
Absolutely.
No matter what looks like on paper, no matter what. And by you having that internal advantage of working for the company, even to the point of being a CEO, you would think that you've known everything.
I think when you buy a company, it's like buying an onion and it has layers. And every time you unpeel one of the layers, you just learn a little bit more.
So you learned a lot.
Yeah.
When was this?
I just bought the company January 1st of 2022.
Wow. So for 7 months in, 8 months in.
Yeah. But I've been there this is my 8th year.
Right. So it doesn't feel like it's a brand new territory for you. So by doing this, because I asked you the other night, yesterday, I said, like, people still read books?
Absolutely. People love reading books.
I mean, the hard books, and there's so much Kindle and there's so many Audible.
People still read. I just came back from a cruise and you can see lines of people reading books. Really? It's beautiful. I went to the spa and they have these spa chairs that you can sit on, and there's people with their Kindles and they're out there reading books.
Wow.
I think there's been a push now for people to start reading more. I think it's funny. We just started a nonprofit called Message to Millions, and our goal at our nonprofit is to promote literacy and reading. It's something that kids nowadays are so busy doing video games, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the wave of the future, but there's still something beneficial to actually sitting there and reading a book. Your imagination goes where it doesn't normally go unless you have an experience reading a book. And that happens whether it's fiction, nonfiction,
biography. I agree with you 100%. It's an experience. Yeah. It's not, some people look at it as a task, and some people, if you don't get in the habit of doing it, you don't realize it, but it's such an escape, either from your immediate reality, but it's also so broadening. People that read, especially for people, especially young children that read books. I find them much more tolerant, much more
Mhm.
knowledgeable about little things that
Yeah.
you don't learn in school. There's a
That's
lot of
right.
things you don't learn in school, and a lot of things you don't learn in your family.
Yeah. And there's
You
a
know,
lot of emotional
lifestyles.
intelligence that
That is
goes.
activated as
Mhm,
a result of doing that.
mhm.
And so your program specifically does what?
Mostly self-help books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason is because our founder, who was Jerry Robert,
Mhm.
he actually created a system so that no matter what book you put in, as long as it's the right type of book, which is a self-help book,
Mhm.
you can have success as an author, which is huge because there's so many people. I mean, there's so many people who have written books. There's books written every year. And I think the statistics are only what, 80% to 90% of people who write books don't sell even 500 books.
Absolutely. A lot of people, they're in the garage,
Yes.
boxes
Boxes
in
and
the
boxes.
garage.
That's what I say all the time.
And they give it away. And thing is that because most people previously, you would think that most people write a book for either their own legacy,
Mhm.
their own, or they say, call it the most ultimate business card.
Yeah.
Something you give away or you package with something like that. But you
Absolutely.
said that way that you teach people, explain how you, because people, again, everybody has a book in them. Let's establish
Yes.
that everybody has a book in them. But it just, many times it just takes, and I've taken courses and I've taken programs and weekends, and I just have not done that book.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to, most people want to, but you have a system that you explain that just like almost.
Yes. We have a 40-hour writing system, which is part of a 5-part series. So we have a plan it, write it, fund it, where we teach. So our planet system, we teach you how to write the right book. So often authors come to us and they want to write about what they want to say
Mhm.
and not about what the reader wants to hear, what they need to hear, what they don't think about that.
Mhm.
Or they don't think about what they really want the book to do for them. And so we actually go through the planet phase first, and then we teach our 40-hour write it system where you
Mhm.
can literally write your book in just 5 minutes a day. It's phenomenal. Like I would never have gotten my book done without that system. It's just too busy.
Mhm.
And then we teach the funded system, which in our funded program, we have 6 different methods where we teach you how to get other people to fund your book project. It's not free to write a book and get it
Mhm.
published. And so there's a lot of different costs involved. And so we teach you how to get other people to pay for those costs. And then we teach you how to move your books so you don't have boxes and boxes of books in the garage. And then we teach all of the technical things, which if you join with our program, we do all those technical things for you, copyright information, ISBN numbers, the editing, layout, all of that. So we teach that so that you at least understand the process. And then we do it for you.
Really? So even as far as the book covers and
All
just
of that.
everything, so
Yeah.
from start to finish, because now so many people are self-publishing their books, but you can tell a self-published
Yeah.
book. You can tell it, I mean, very, very, very people have enough of the wherewithal to really make that look different than a
We tell
self-published book.
people all the time, you know how they say you can't judge a book by its cover? Well,
You
there's a
do.
reason. Yeah,
You
we all do.
We do. I don't
We
even open
we
it if
judge
I don't like the
everything,
cover.
food, wrappings, we judge everything by the look of it. It's one of the primary, most of us are visual. It's one of our primary ways of judging something.
Mhm.
So you definitely have to have a really good book cover. And we have teams of experts that we've hired at the company. That's all they do. So our team of experts, which is why it's important to know who's your target population, what are their needs, desires, or problems, because we can actually create the book cover so that it actually is something that will attract your target population. So the colors, the fonts, I don't know all of the
Mhm.
science,
Mhm.
but our team knows.
Mhm.
And that's what's important. You want somebody to walk by your book and go, hey, wait a minute, I need that. That's what you want to be the attraction with your book cover.
So it's not even the colors and the pictures, it's also the title and the
Absolutely.
subtitle.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful stories behind the covers, but you don't ever get that far because of the title doesn't pull you in.
Yeah.
And it's the science to it. It's like, and we assume that, again, we can do that and we know that. And if you're not really in that profession, you really don't know
You
it.
don't.
And why waste your time and
Yep.
waste your energy, but also more importantly, waste that dream, the thoughts that you want to share with the world with and not have it be heard.
Yeah.
It's
Our goal is to, it's one thing to write a book. It's another thing to become a properly positioned author in the marketplace. When you're a properly positioned author in the marketplace, your readers come to you. If you're using your book as a marketing tool to help boost your business, clients come to you. So what we teach is how to get the most return on your investment. Your book is your investment. Your book is an asset. And so, yes, you can sell your book. There's some money in selling books, but not a whole lot. That's
Yeah.
not where the big money is. The money is in building the business around the book. And that's what we also teach our authors. Oftentimes, they don't even know what business they want to build around the book. And so we provide coaching. We have an excellent coach. She's been with us, I think, for 9 years. Yeah, she's really good, super smart. I love her. She's very creative. She thinks outside the box. We have other coaches as well. So when you partner with us, we have teams of people who are experts in each individual field. And so you work with probably 30 to 40 different people on
Wow.
your book project who are
Wow.
working on your book project with you.
That's fantastic. And another thing too is that most people do a book when they invest in the book and the project, not only time with the money and so forth, but they realize that they're not going to make any money from it. But you mentioned that there's certain strategies that can be implemented where you can
Absolutely.
definitely make money from the
Absolutely.
book.
There's no way you should not be making money with a book. I mean, my friend Sharon Lecter, I was just speaking on stage with her, and one of the things that she said in her speaking part was, your book is an asset. It's an asset that can be passed on from generation to generation. Look at Napoleon Hill. He's dead for what, hundreds of years almost now? Yeah. And his book is still making money for his family. It's a legacy that he's passed down. And so you can do that, but more, instead of waiting until you die, like an artist, as a properly positioned author in the marketplace, you gain so much credibility. I can remember the moment I started telling people, this is even before my book was out, just with my book cover, the moment I started telling people I'm the author of the upcoming book, I had my book cover, the title was great. And it just changed, it changed other people's perceptions of me. It opened doors that I didn't even know existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we hear that. I mean, I think every entrepreneur, every business person, every lay person has heard that.
Yeah.
But we just say, is it worth it? And we'll spend money on technology and all these other things. And so the investment starts at, I know it varies depending on how involved you get, but where's like the minimum investment? What's the starting point?
I would say about just a little under 20,000 is for our package that I just described. But if people can't afford that, we do have some coaching programs to help people to self-publish. But if they're really serious about their success, then they need to have us as their publisher because it includes all of the coaching. Probably one of the biggest hurdles is just getting the story out of you. I think that's the biggest thing. There's some fear of putting yourself out there, of taking the time to just sit and do it. And so we actually, our coaching is designed to actually help you pull that book out of you. It's a marvelous experience. It's the reason why I've worked for the company for so long. I tell people that I'm a success head. So the opposite of a crackhead, I'm a success head. I get high on other people's success. And so I've seen at our company, we've produced successful authors time and time and time again. I have so many success stories, just regular everyday people from all walks of life can just make that decision to become an author. And all of a sudden they have a different life now. And it's just, it's great to see because you see people starting to achieve their dreams. And that to me is phenomenal.
That's amazing. And the thing is, I know we were talking yesterday with someone that said it's not even about that success, but so therapeutic.
It
was so
is.
therapeutic if you're going through a transition or if you're going through reinventing yourself, or whatever the case may be. It's such a therapeutic experience that it just.
I cried so many times writing my own book.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
That's what she said. That
It's
is so
so true.
emotional, like an emotional release
And
for
I'll
her.
tell you, I never even thought about being a coach. Not really. I wrote my first book, which it's going to be the third one that I release. But a friend of mine, I didn't know what she was going through. And I was telling her about some of the things that I was writing in my book. And the impact that it had on her
Mhm,
changed my perceptions.
mhm.
Because you don't know how much you're going to be able to help other people and move other people. And that's just a whole nother aspect of it. You know, the Bible says there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. And so when you're writing your book, you're giving to people all over the planet. You're
Right,
giving
you
to
don't know who
people.
the people.
You don't know who you're going to
who's gonna
touch,
touch
whose
you.
lives. I mean, think about it. How many of us have been changed by a book?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's just, I think, again, and now more and more young people are getting involved into it as well. And I'm really proud about that. So your program even lends itself to teenagers or whoever has it in them. And that's a great way to be able to start your, your adult life, to
Yeah.
be able to do that. So I'm convinced again, I thought books were done, but now I am motivated and I have a couple books in me and I started and I never finished, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now and you'll be able to share my success story.
Yes, I'm so excited. Because I'm a success hit.
Yeah, okay, well, you do that, you do that. You just talk about my success.
Yeah.
No, thank you for sharing it. So tell us again, because you do different presentations and seminars and different
Yes.
events so people can meet and talk and
Yep.
and share.
So right now, we're still doing them virtually,
Mhm.
which is still great because they can still,
Mhm.
the
Everybody,
experience, yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Mhm.
But if you go to our website, it's blackcardbooks.com/events,
Mhm.
and you'll be able to sign up for free. So we do our events all over the world,
Mhm.
in different time zones. So you can select the time zone that is closest to you.
Mhm.
And it's absolutely free to attend the event.
Mhm.
We do have a VIP package that is probably one of the best VIP packages. We actually give you your book cover and your VIP package.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the first step. And people don't realize how important that is until after they attend the event. So we only allow you to do VIP up until the start of the event, and they come back, well, can I get the VIP package? No. So if you're interested in going, get the VIP package, because people are always trying to get it afterwards, after we teach the importance of having that right book cover.
I'm sure when people have that book cover, then that really ignites them.
Yes.
It's like, okay, now they can just see it.
I cried when I saw my book cover too.
Well, I would, just because of the fact that like, I'm this step, I've gotten this
Yes.
far, from the point. So go to, what's the website again?
Blackcardbooks.com.
All right. Well, thank you. I
Thank
mean, like, every little bit helps, and we're at this stage right now that a lot of us are pivoting, a lot of us are transitioning, a lot of us just now ready to share all the wealth and knowledge and experiences that we have, and somebody wants to hear it. And that person could be you. So thanks again, and feel free to join us at Homework, HOMWORK, where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world.
Thank you.